Welcome back to Indian Trace. That right there is about 2 inches long. Guilford Yuma, found in the last couple weeks. Today happens to be moving day, an awesome day, because what I'm doing ultimately is getting ready to try to bring in some more of this great stuff. Take a look at this. Now I got to make room for it. I got to figure out the very best thing to do with it. Where it's going to fit in a display for me, or where it's going to fit in a nice gift for somebody else. Sort of the way I like to view the community. And this week there's been so many great comments. We're going to take a look at these on moving day. I've just taken some photographs and I'm going to archive those digitals. And as we take a look at these, just make a couple comments. What a fantastic community, right? I mean, some of you out there are able to share it with your kids, such as Treasure Hunter for Life has some awesome, good stuff with your son, finding some great artifacts. Look at this Guilford in quartz. It's moving day. Found these the last couple weeks. Got to clear them out because if we had the rain like we're talking about, I found this yesterday. This was on live, but a lot of these pieces, including these pieces back here, haven't been seen, cleaned up. I mean, not this piece either. I didn't even know it was pink when we found it out there. And there's a quartz streak through it. That is not a break. That is a quartz streak right through it. I'll show you in a minute. Nice relief. We haven't seen a lot of these cleaned up, such as this piece from Saponia. I'm getting ahead of myself. Moving day with Indian Trace. This is a good find. Didn't see it clean. I knew it was going to be a good hammerstone out there. When you feel it, you can tell. But in the natural light here, and just to give you a little cleanup, I haven't done a cleanup on any of these. Didn't do them this week or the week before. But I've been moving forward, trying to do my best to seek and save, and found quite a few really great pieces, as we can see in this. And we're going to get just a close-up as I mentioned a couple things. As I said, the community is stellar. We've got guys out there hunting who are absolutely, and this focus is not working for me, turning themselves inside out, some of you, for hours in a day to find just a nice point. And I just made the comment to my friend Christian that a smoker a day keeps the doctor away. I think a lot of us can relate to that. But the paradox that keeps us sane, and we go out there and do what we can to save this stuff. This is a very important piece to somebody. They probably pecked and worked at a lot of different points with this thing. I don't know. I'm wondering if the edge is coming in. Of course it's translucent, but just a great hammerstone. For those out there that are craftsmen and nappers, these are prizes. These are real prizes. Anyway, I'm going to put that aside. On moving day, I like to give a good look at the cleanup from all the angles. Because as I've seen, whether I'm talking to Ken in New York or somebody else, such as Mike in Utah, many of you just do not have the areas to find this kind of artifacts, which blows my mind because I never moved here, even with the realization that you'd be able to find this kind of stuff in the ground. Never thought of it. Craziness to me. So let's take a look at these. A couple basic things. Pulled this from Crystal Beach this week. It's a good Guilford tip. Couldn't be a nice piece. Here's a nice piece. And as for the community, I mean, so many great comments of different styles, great appreciations. I try to stir people up all the time, as you know. Look at this piece. Great piece came from Sun Hill this week. Even with political interest comments. In light of the last presidential election, it was vital. The results were providential. Not providential because Trump won. Providential because the whole mega system was set against him winning in every way. Intent on him not winning through corruption and deception. And still, God saw it through. No one convinced me or maybe you to go and vote for him. But something within convinced us that that was the right choice to do. It's a battle of good and evil, and that's what we're after out here. And I think these North American Indians, even in the Stone Age, which is what we're looking at here, that was a nice piece, wasn't it? Had a conviction within themselves of good and evil. Here's a piece from Hidden Hill. I like this piece. It's rugged, it's strong, just the way they intended to make it. Nothing fancy. But once you get this armor-piercing tip on the end of an antler, you're going to have bone to slow it down. It's going to cause some damage. So I always like these pieces. Unique. Age-old battle of good and evil. And if you approach that battle from a different playing field like the North American Indian did, look at this little Marl Mountain in here, then you're at a grave disadvantage. You're a Stone Age human being. You don't even know you are. You just know that this stone is the best you have to make tools. The European come along, and you don't know that many things, covetousness, greed, materialism, liquor, is evil. And so your whole perspective starts to get twisted and turned. I can't imagine the upheaval that it caused. That is the clash of cultures, modernization. Look at this. I can't imagine the clash within them. The clash of materialism alone. The clash of alcohol and what it did to them. Here's a great piece of sugar quartz from Hidden Hill. So I'm really reflective today. What a great community, though. I strive to help people represent the good. There's some people that are more than happy to represent the evil, whether they're in the cult or whether they're fascists, and they just refuse to even allow you to speak your mind, refuse to even allow a good discussion of opinions about the way things should be done, about the way things can be done better. It's a great piece, isn't it? And sugar quartz, Guilford variety. But all in all, what really speaks, look at this piece, unique piece from Saponi, to me is that there's no difference. It's always been the same. There is a battle between good and evil. Listen, there's no doubt about it. When the army soldiers were out confronting this Stone Age Indian for the very, very first time, in the mid-1700s, early 1700s maybe, and then pushing hard in the late 1700s, early 1800s, they knew, although they overrid that, greed overrid it, they knew it was evil to hunt and slaughter North American Indians because they had a political and a technology advantage. They didn't have a tactical advantage. They didn't have a strength advantage. Look at this piece. But they knew it was evil. So the battle for good and evil has been going on since day one. Since Adam and Eve, It's just an interesting piece, is it? Tell me what you can tell me about it. It's old rhyolite. I think it's a very old piece. I'm not sure. They're all real old, aren't they? And there's the one we started with, the Guilford Yuma. As we finish up, here's a piece from Saponi, Guilford, that I found maybe a week ago, maybe a week and a half. Got to close things down, take my pictures, and move forward. I think with rain, I have so many areas that are ready to find some great artifacts. And so I've had a couple questions come in as we finish. How do you know where to start if you're looking for alternative news feeds, looking for the truth about what's happening in the world, what's happening in France? Oh God, let Le Pen win tomorrow. That's all I can say. Study out what I just said, but oh God, that's my prayer, that Le Pen would win tomorrow in France. I don't want to get into that subject, but I had a question come in. How do you know? How do you know what to study? Look at the base on that. You can tell where it's hafted in. That's a stellar piece. Guilford, cleaned up, just up close, bringing you in. No human being. I guess, people in your family, sometimes they don't care about the pointed rocks you find, but, I just do my best to represent. Maybe one day these videos will mean more to them. Who knows? And it doesn't matter right now. You just do your best. But They said, how do you know? And here's I guess my favorite of the week, my happy find at Hidden Hill. And I tell them, well, I said, I just started moving forward. I guess the number one thing that you have to have, look at the pink in this rock. The number one thing you have to have is you have to have no fear in looking the truth directly in the face. No resistance to what might be really true about the events in Syria or North Korea, the events with our government, with the election, the truth about what's happening in the nation, in every facet. For your children's sake and your family's sake, have no fear, and first of all, desire what is true. Put all greed aside, put all selfish ambition aside, and look at, there's that vein of quartz right down through the middle. Wonder if this is focusing. That happens. I've seen it from time to time. Nice piece here, though. I love the relief off the back. Real prized piece for me. Happy to find that. So I tell people, I say, first of all, don't fear what is you're going to find out about what the truth actually is. And then, go on YouTube or something. Follow. You can even start. I just went from place to place, just like when I discovered these ancient Indian sites. I unfolded them one at a time, not all together. And I worked hard to discover each one. And the same thing with news feeds that you trust. And I can tell you, I can give you a head start. Forsake CBS, NBC, CNN, CNBC. They're all owned by the same corporations. And they all lie their pants off. I guarantee you, they're trying to change your public opinion. I guarantee you, they're trying to taint your whole idea of what the truth is. NPR, they do their share, full share of propaganda, which injures you, which injures your family. So I've been ranting and raving and just showing you some of this stuff in the calm of the afternoon after getting some work done. I gotta do a little bit more here when I shut this off. But just some great angles. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. And if you are interested, if you're not afraid of what is really true, then check out some of my subscriptions. I keep my subscriptions to 25, no more. I edit them, I update them, and at least personally, between me and them, I'm jealous over them as to which ones I think are priorities to me, and that's what I keep on there. Maybe 30-40% are news feeds, and 60% are artifact feeds. Just the way we roll, everybody does it a little different. So here on Indian Trace, I'm just glad I could bring you in today and show you what was going on Moving Day. These are moving out. I can see a good little handful that are going to go in my display box, and a good little handful that I'm going to share and I'm going to give away. It's okay. That's life. Anyway, I hope you find out there. And I hope you're going to decide to move forward and strive to represent this nation and freedom, come life or death. It doesn't matter to me. I believe in the New Hampshire state motto, live free or die. And freedom is not, unfortunately, and I mean, if it was any different, it was the other way around between Republican and Democrat, I'd say the same thing, but freedom is not what the Democratic Party was bringing us this last election at all, or the elections before that. And some of the Republican Party, no different. But freedom, as in the inaugural address that Trump gave, is what Donald Trump has been trying to give back to you and me, whether you believe it or not. It might not be the kind of freedom that you really think is ideal, and it'll get better, but it is a whole lot better than you could ever imagine it would be if Hillary Clinton would have ever won. That was an unacceptable and disgusting thought to me. So, appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace, and that's enough. I could talk all afternoon about politics, but I will pause it and slide out of here with a close-up. as always, hope you find that there.